we go. On. Oh. All right. So this session, I'm simply just revising for the CCIE Security version 5. So today is one of my days where I like to go through the blueprint and basically revise and create labs and do labs related to the blueprint and based on the equipment that I've got. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. It's literally, there's no real structure to this. It's literally just me revising, doing labs, etc. And I just thought it'd be cool to record live stream while I'm doing this. So there is going to be periods where, you know, I might be writing notes on OneNote and not purely labbing. So but I thought it'd be cool because I'd be able to reach out to those that are interested and, you know, just have a hangout really while I'm labbing. So yeah, so today I'm looking at perimeter security and intrusion prevention, which is the main one of the CCIE Security version 5 blueprint. Hi Jamal, thanks for tuning in. Hope all your studying's going well, exam wise, etc. I'm sure it is. So yeah, back to this. I am looking at the moment at just messing about with routing protocols that are supported by the ASA. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today, and this is let me have a look. So this is in the main one under, for those that are following along, describe, implement, troubleshoot and secure routing protocols on the Cisco ASA and Cisco FTD. So we're specifically, or I'm specifically focusing on the ASA at the moment. I need to configure the FTD devices because I've just switched over to using EVE-NG. Well, in fact, I'm using a bit of both EVE-NG and GNS3, but I've not got it set up, I don't think, in here yet. So we're just going to focus at the moment specifically on the ASA. Like I said, there's no real structure to this. It's just me going through the blueprint and putting together random labs and labbing. So yeah, Jamal, I'm using EVE-NG. So basically I can put together loads of labs, create lab details and tasks that I need to do. I think it's quite a cool thing actually. So if I was to close this lab, you know, I've got other labs that I've created here that I can jump on. So I've started creating a version 5 CCIE lab. Let me just put that back on. So yeah, I can kind of do that as well, which is quite cool. Back on there. So yeah, it's quite cool. So I'm using a bit, I've actually managed to bridge GNS3 devices to EVE-NG. So basically I can have both emulators open and I can connect to devices out of each one. So that's quite cool. I plan on doing a video of that in the future at some point for those that are interested, because I think it's quite useful. And then from there on out, you can, if you've got physical equipment, you can also connect to your physical network and connect devices to your virtual network. So I think that's quite cool. So yeah, I'm going to start off by configuring these devices. I'm going to start off by configuring RIP v2. Now, looking at the configuration guide for the Cisco ASAs. When we look at when we look at the IP routing, we can't really see RIP here. However, RIP is supported on the ASA, RIP v1 and RIP v2, and supported on the ASA. So yeah, we're going to be configuring RIP v2 on this, and then we're going to look at securing it, etc. as well. So that should be starting off today. So let's go back to the lab. Start. So yes, Jamal, you can, or I will create a video on how we can kind of use GNS3 and Eve at the same time. It's quite cool, especially if you want to try and keep devices in GNS3 and you don't really want to put them in Eve NG. It's possible to do that. So that's kind of my purpose of using it, actually, the way that I'm using it. I'm just going to start off by starting these devices. Out of the ASA as well, and I've just put some random networks in here, which we're going to configure along with the virtual PCs. They're just VPCs. Okay, cool. And what I need to do as well, in fact, I need to add I just open these via CRT. I need to share that application. Just give me a second. And a little bit bigger, and hopefully you can see that. Let me know if it's a little bit too small, but hopefully you can see that. Alright, cool. So I might make the syntax a little bit bigger if it's not viewable, but hopefully it is. Alright, cool. So let me put that there, and I'll just open up the other devices as well. Okay, and we'll open up the rest of the devices as well. Is it still blurry? Hold on. Just give me a second, I'll just sort that out. Just bear with me. I'll sort out the blurriness now, hopefully. You should be able to change your, if it's blurry, you should be able to change your the resolution down on YouTube, the quality. Just let me know if you can change that and see if that's any better, and let me know. While I open up these other devices. Create another connection. Alright, cool. 898, I think. That's router 1. ASA still, oh no, the ASA is loaded. Router 2 is loaded. And I'll just add the VPCs as well. Let me do another. And 32901. That's VPC. Let me know if that if you can see the syntax fine. Hopefully you can. I think you can. And the last device 32900. Alright, cool. So that's all devices open now. So we'll start by configuring the basic settings. Just give me a Alright, cool. So we'll start off with the PCs and configure IP addresses for them. And if this is like, I've not configured the virtual PCs in Eve, but I'm guessing they're the same as GNS3. I think they are, yeah. So if we just do IP, we'll give PCA 192.168.30.5 255.255.255.0/24, and the gateway should be 192.168.30. Let's say 1, yeah, 30.1. So that's the same as GNS3. So if I just do show, yep, our gateway is configured and always our IP address now, our 30.5. Move on to PCB and just do the same again for that. 192.168.35.5. We'll give this /24 gateway is 192.168.35.1. Alright, cool. So we'll just do show. Yeah, we can see that's the same. So we'll go to router 1 now. Configure the basic settings. I will change the host name to R1 just to reflect our topology. There we go. And we'll do interface gigabit 01. IP address, we said it was 192.168.30.1 255.0. no shut. And interface gigabit 00 to IP address 192.168.168.90 dot, let's give this one 2. We'll give the ASA interface 1 /24 no shut. We'll configure static routes. We'll do the configure RIP in a moment. We'll just configure the interfaces for router 2 and the ASA as well. Good morning to Joanne. How you doing? Hope you're all good. Thanks for tuning in. For those that are just tuning in, like I said at the start, this is just basically my revision day, and what I tend to do is I tend to do my revision, reviewing the exam topics for, in particular, my case, CCIE Security version 5. So I do a lot of writing on OneNote, and I also try to put together little labs like this. So I thought it'd be cool just to hang out with you guys while I'm doing that, and you know, let you guys know what I'm doing. So yeah, that's quite, I thought that would be quite cool. Alright, cool. So we'll carry on. So we'll move across to ASA now, and I think I'm using one of the latest versions actually for this. So 9.8, yeah, so it's one of the latest versions. So we'll start again by configuring the host name, and this is ASA1, and we'll configure interface management 0. Gigabit 0. 5.6 management 0.0. Or my physical ASA is 1 management 1. That's why I probably got confused. Anyway, so IP address 192.168.90.1. We said we'd give this one /24 again, and we'll do our shutdown. And we'll also name this interface as fact minute. I've only just remembered we're doing this on VLANs, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to create a sub interface and assign it to VLAN 90. So let's just remove this. So it's not shut down, which is how we need it. So we'll do interface management 0.0 90. Oops, dot there. There we go. VLAN 90. Now we'll put the IP address on this interface 192.168.1 we said, didn't we? We can see now management interface as the IP address of VLAN 90, as the sub interface VLAN 90, and the IP address signed of 90.1. So we'll just do, let's give it a name. We'll give it name if inside management. Change the security level to 100. Do show name if now, and we can see that our management interface, the name of inside management and security level 100. Okay. Got a sharp. Get my OneNote up as well, because I like to write notes. done the same again for on the router 1 interface. Yeah, on router 1 interfaces we should have actually assigned the VLANs. I totally forgot that we were using VLANs. So if we go back into those interfaces, we'll do an IP address. Cool, so it's up. We'll just look at one. I think we need to the IP address. Yes, we do. Gigabit 01. And just do that again. So yep. Alright, cool. So we'll assign Gigabit 01 to VLAN 30. So we'll do interface Gigabit 01. We'll just do .30 for the sub interface, and we'll do encapsulation .1q, and VLAN is going to be 30. Give it an IP address of 192.168.30.1. we add it /24. No shut. Then we'll go to interface Gigabit 00, and we'll give this a sub interface of 90. And about this. Okay. Try that in fact. Go with it. So encapsulation .1q 90 of 90.2 we gave this one. Oopsie. I'm doing that shutdown. The local to device. Alright, cool. So let me just on that. Cool. So we'll carry on with the other devices. Go and configure RIP v2. So we didn't complete the ASA, did we? So let's do the ASA, and we'll do interface Gigabit 00 no shut interface Gigabit 00.5. address 192.168.35.1. We'll give it /24, no shut. To interface gigabit 01 root 2, no shut. Gigabit 01 dot VLAN 40 VLAN 40 address 268.40.1. no shut. Let's just do a show IP address. Those interfaces, we didn't give them names, so let's give them names. Interface gig 00.35. If we'll just call it VLAN 5. Set all the security levels to 100. Don't really make any difference with this topology. First gigabit 01.40. Name if VLAN 4. Cool. So show IP. So that's good. So configure router 2. We'll do that now. Host name 2. Interface gigabit 00, no shut. Interface gigabit 00.40. Encapsulation .1q 40. And 68.40.2. No shut. Might be worth actually configuring a loopback. So interface loopback 1 IP address. We'll just give it 2.2.2.2 root 2. We'll do the same for 1. Give this one .1.1. Alright, cool. So as you can see, there's not really any structure to the way that I'm doing this. The whole point of me doing this is literally just to play about and learn as I go, really, and just see how it works, see how different features work on the ASA and on the devices. And just following the blueprint. That's pretty much it. It's just experimenting. I feel like that's the best way that you learn, really. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to configure RIP. So we'll Start with router 1. So router RIP, that enables RIP. Can do version 2. What's the it's but I want to know what version it is. It should be default version 1, but let's just have a look. I think. Version 1, I think. Anyway, router RIP. RIP version 2. Let's just see if that shows us in the configurations now. Ooh. Okay, cool. Anyway, so we have 2 networks. Let's just do no auto summary. So we've got 2 networks. We've got the 192.168.30.0. Oh, and the 192.168.90.0. Alright, cool. So we'll do network 192.168.30.0. And again, we have 90.0. So it just shows router RIP. Now, do show IP RIP database, I think it is. So yep, that's our database there. Alright, cool. So that's RIP on router 1. We'll also do, I think, in fact, because the blueprint says, where's it gone? Yeah, it says secure routing protocols. So obviously we could configure the protocols, but then what we'll do is we'll secure them. Be a nice little test refresh as well. So yeah, let's do that. So we've done router 1's networks. We'll move on to the ESA. And as I said on this guide, we can see that we have we've got BGP, SPF, ISIS, EIGRP. It doesn't mention anything about RIP, whether it's in there or not. I don't know. But anyway, let's head back to the topology. And we'll do the I believe it's still the same process. I've actually not configured RIP on an ASA, but I believe it's the same process. So let's try anyway, see what happens. Router, yes, right there. So we can configure supported protocols are BGP, EIGRP, ISIS, OSPF, and RIP. So basically everything that we just seen on the OSPF, ISIS, EIGRP, but no RIP even though it's on there. So, alright, cool. We'll do RIP. So that enables it again. Set version. I thought there were no version command then. But version 2. Let's do a show run. Include RIP. See what happens on this. So it just shows us it. And then we need to add the network. So we've got 3 networks hanging off the ASA this time. So we've got 90.0, 35.0, and so we'll add network 192.168.90, see what happens. We'll add 35.0, no auto summary, again, interface is not. What? Let's see what 40 says. 40. That's the same. They're telling me that you can't configure RIP as management interfaces and all the routes, management interface, all the routes, management traffic. Let's do a search on that. In fact, see, this is a good thing about like I said, I've never configured RIP on the ASA before, so this is a good reason why it's always good to you know, lab and put everything you've read into perspective. So let's have a look what this means. Go here and we'll do a nice old search. Ooh, let's hope it's not a bug that I'm hitting. The unaffected release is 9815. The error where data interface is not allowed as management is in use by this instance. One of the network statements is one of the management interface. That's correct. Passive interface default is enabled EIGRP. Channel interfaces. Okay, so view bug details. Sign in, so just but I won't do work off what we've got here. So I wonder if I'm hitting a bug. Let me just make sure. Let's see what version I'm on. .983, so 981. I wonder if this version's affected as well. Interesting. What do you think, guys? You think I'm hitting a bug? Maybe I'm hitting the bug. I might try this on my physical ASA, but then again, in fact, it's running, I think, the same version as this. so that might actually help. So conditions. Yep, so the conditions is actually no a full description. Let me just, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm quickly going to sign into my Cisco account, and I'm going to see if there's a workaround for this, if it is the bug that we're in. So just give me a second while I do that. So so this looks like I may be hitting the bug 983. And in fact it says known fixed releases, so it's saying that it's fixed in this version, which is interesting. The workaround is to remove the entire EIGRP configuration. We're using RIP, and then re-add the configuration before adding passive interface statements. So we don't actually have any passive interfaces. Tell you what, why don't we remove the network or management interface, and then we'll see what happens. Back on here, let's remove. In fact, I didn't even add it, did I? Oh yeah, I did. Let's do that, and then let's try add. Okay, so let me add that now. And 35.0. So I wonder if it's going to let me add the management one. So let's see. Change this to 90. Okay, so it's not going to let us. It looks like it's not going to let us configure RIP on the management interface because the data interfaces are using RIP. I wonder if we could configure another routing protocol, which would be quite cool actually, because we do need to actually go through, or I need to go through all these routing protocols as part of this blueprint. So let's configure OSPF. Let's have a look. Where's the yeah, maybe we should do SPF. So let's have a look on here. So if we go to OSPF, so let's have a look. In fact, see if there's any limitations on this. Hopefully you guys can see that as well. So yeah, better reading. As I said, you know, this is me revising. Hopefully it's not too boring for you guys. The ASA supports the following features: intra-area, inter-area, and external types 1 and 2 routes, virtual links, LSA flooding, authentication, so that's what we're going to be doing. Okay. Seconds for non-broadcast link, which I believe is the same anyway as routers. Yep. And then we've got a bunch of configuration down here. Alright, cool. So let's go back to the lab. And what we'll do, because I think we are in that bug, is we'll remove we'll configure OSPF as well. I don't know if that's I don't think that's rebooted. No. Thought that rebooted then. Alright, cool. So back to ASA1 to OSPF. I was thinking then, is it root OSPF on the ASA? But yeah, so we'll do root OSPF1, a root ID. Oh, 3.3.3 just purely because the loopbacks on root 2 and root 1 are using 1 and 2s. Let's add the network 192.168.98. And the network mask is 4, and let's just call this area backbone. So we're gonna have to go to root 1, and instead of configuring RIP, or we've configured RIP anyway, but let's leave that and we'll just add OSPF. Router OSPF1. The ID, I said it was network is 90.0, and this will be wildcard, so it'll be 255 area 0, and also, so yeah, we've got an adjacency there with neighbor 333, so we already know that's the ASA, and I also need to add the 30.0 network. So let's just end show IP neighbors. So yeah, we've got that there. Root. And then we'll do just trying to think where we can put the gateway. We could point it to router 2, in fact, and have the loop back as the next stop. In fact, that's a point. I've not added the loopbacks into the dynamic routing. Root OSPF1. All zeros. So that's in there, and I need to add that on. And I still need to advertise the other routes as well. Will that let me do that using OSPF? Because it didn't let me do it via RIP, did it? Yeah, so we've got that issue. We're probably gonna have to look at redistribute. Alright, cool. So let me do show route. Show OS. Show OSPF. There we go. OSPF. Neighbor. Designated router. So this is the designated route. Need to point a route out to let's say route in global configuration. V140. It is, let's say 2. Yeah, let's always advertise it. So if we show IP route, process. There we go. So we've got the default route from the ASA now being advertised. Our default route is via 90.1, which is the ASA. Everything will just be pushed to the ASA. .1. So we can ping that. I don't know if we can ping from the P. Let's try 92.168. We can ping 30.1. Should be able to ping 30. So VLAN gateway is not reachable. that should be the interface. Show IP in brief. One. Show app. So we can't see .5, which is a PC for some reason. .1. Just make sure the base is up, which it is. 3 packets input. 411 out. Let's do dot. To IP when I wonder if that's to do with the virtual device, maybe. It's not a command. No, there was no app to clear anyway, so interesting. Itself 5. We'll try it with PCB and see what happens there, and then we'll try look into that a little bit further. So for now, we know that OSPF is up between router 1 and ASA, and we've not checked RIP actually. to loop back anyway. Let me get the root on that. That's static root in there. In fact, should we have distribute? Could redistribute. Let's try. Where's Max? Metric of classical networks will be read. Okay, so got started. Did we try? So I wonder if that's the. Pack it out. Yeah. How you? Uh, 35. Okay, so it's going by name. 35. I'm not too sure what's going on with the virtual PCs. What I might try do, in fact, is put later on. I might try put a Windows machine in there, or I might just actually what I might do is I might just join up GNS3 and Eve, which might be quite useful for you guys. So I might actually do that on this video. And then do authentication. Yeah, so I'll do that. Do that actually with. We'll do it with the OSPF side. So we'll do key 1. Lifetime. No, we won't need to. key string, we'll just set the key string, leave it unencrypted, and we'll do it as run include key. Our key string is there, Cisco, and that. Yeah. Before we carry on, writing some notes on my OneNote before we continue. I don't know if you guys are using Eve or what you guys are using to study. Alright, cool. So if I move on to interface 0.90, authentic and key, the key PF, that should go down there. So yeah, the key, so the OSPF adjacency has gone down now. So if I do clear IP OSPF process, see what happens now. So as you can see there, it's not come back up, so we're not learning the routes now. We need to configure authentication on the ASA. OSPF authentication, so you can see the commands are a little bit different here. Point, I wonder if it'll let me do Has to be message digest. Yeah, so we can't do it on there. Again, I've never done this on the ESA. This is new to me. Configure. Oops, that'll be less than, so can't be less than 8, no? Go run. If interface management 00 They'll do it like that. See what happens there. Do it really quick. So it don't look like that. That command is authentication. So I wonder if we enable the authentication. Right, so I wonder if that is different. So let's have a quick look on the Cisco guide. If so, have a look for all. It says, so this is still ESA, so yeah, it says that authentication to OSPF packets, both password and MD5 authentication. So OSPF supports MD5 and clear text neighbor authentication. Okay. It says that we can password authentication. So this is just a simple key or keychain. Right, okay. We're probably gonna have to do message digest, D5 authentication. So let's go back to the lab and we will so we'll just take that key off, keychain, do IPF. So you can see we've got the authentication key, so that's just going to put a key on the just like we did on the ASA. So let's just do that. Authentication, message digest. So that's gone down again now. So we'll do this and quickly do that. Let's just clear the process just so we know where it's at. And we enable authentication, OSPF authentication. And we need to Ep1. Just do Cisco. IP OSP message digest Ep1 MD5 encrypted Cisco. That should bring it back up now. For the process. Alright, now don't look like it's working, so if G0 Oh, an output now, okay. That's strange. That's why it's become. That should have output. Anyway, configurations there, 90.2. MD5, same for interface. Management. Take off the authentication key. Take off the authentication key. But interface. Certified. Yeah. Take that off. There we go. This M00. Should apply that then to this interface instead. Saying that our authentication is mismatched. There. Matching authentication type, so we'll just do on. So let's have a look. Show interface T0.0.90. OSPF. What we need. That should bring that back up now. So yeah, that's done. I missed that command out. So yeah, as we can see, that's brought it back up, which is good. So we've got the root being advertised now again. Nice little bit of troubleshooting there. Nice little refresh on the old OSPF. That's secured that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take a quick break, and then when I return, we'll continue. What I might do actually is I'll fire up GNS3, and what we can do is we can, or what I'll do is I'll walk through setting up GNS3 so you can have it connecting to your virtual devices in Eve, for those that are interested. So I'll just go and take a quick break, then I'll be back shortly.
My name is Celine Curry. I work within the event operations team at Goodwood.
So my name's Laura Wilson. I'm a graphic designer here at Goodwood.
Goodwood is an English country estate. We've got the house with weddings and functions and dinners, and then we've got some of the largest motorsport events in the country. Before we had Rike, all of our build schedules were a humongous spreadsheet.
I'd used to use 3 different spreadsheets to pull together like a time log. Now with Rike, I can just do one report, comes off straight away, gives me all the figures I need for the last month, and it's done. It's just so easy. It's now 5 minutes in the morning, whereas it used to take about an hour and a half.
So we use it for our build schedule, so we use the timeline view quite a lot for that. My favourite thing is probably
and I'll open up the security one that I've been putting together. Okay, cool. So best way to do this is to talk you through how it's done first, and what I'll do is I'll create not too sure if I should create a video on this alone. Tell you what, yeah, let me show you guys how it's done now. So it's not too difficult to put together. So once if you've got EVE-NG installed, and you've already sorted out your interfaces, it shouldn't be too hard to link the rest up. So essentially what you're doing is, let me just remove okay, cool, and let me zoom in here. So essentially what I have here is I have a PNIC. So if I show you networks, so I've got a network here. So PNet1 is connected to or this is bridged to my actual network, so I can route out to my physical devices or out to the internet via this connectivity. So what you need to do is you need to identify what PNet1 is, and to do that, let me just get VMware open so you can get a better idea of what's going on. So if I that one, and see that there. So essentially, like I said, when you know what PNet1 is, you need to match it up to your adapters. So I think my PNet1 goes to, no, it don't. My PNet1 yeah, so that's how it works. So my PNet1 is actually bridged adapter. So that's how it works. So that gives me connectivity to my network, and then I've got VMnet2, which is a host only adapter, which I've shown you here. So this is this one. So it's not host only, it's like a custom custom network within a custom virtual network, if you like. So then this is used to connect to GNS3. So we just cancel that. And what I'll do now is I'll just fire up GNS3. And I'll see, I've just recently as well, I've just updated or upgraded, if you like, my GNS3. So I've still got a few things that I need to sort out. But what we'll do is we'll try put together the VMnet 2 so we can see that we can connect across from EVE-NG to GNS3. Just let this load up and we shall start. A second while I sort this out. That off. Alright, cool. So let me see if I can get the topology open that I had open previously. probably going to be easier. And as I said earlier on in this video, this is the reason I do this is because I already have a topology set up in GNS3, and yeah, I can't really be bothered moving it all over to EVE-NG, so I just literally have both of them open, and I can kind of then simulate, like we've got site 1 there on the screen. I can kind of simulate that and then use a GNS3 environment as site 2, let's say, and then if you've got physical equipment, you can then use your bridge connection to link everything else up. So let me see if this is gonna work. First, I might just have to put a standard router in, so I'm just gonna share my GNS topology. So this is it here. So essentially what you've got, let me just zoom in. So what you've got here is when you create a cloud in GNS3, you can specify, so if I go to configure, you can specify the actual interfaces. So in my case, I've specified virtual network 2 or VMnet 2 as my network. So what this is going to do then is it's going to connect that, once configured, it's going to connect to other devices within that. So essentially what I'm doing there is connecting this VMnet 2 to GNS3. So what I could do is I could push everything I've got from let's just open GNS3 again. So everything I've got from GNS3, let's say this is my network internally here. This is all my network. I could push everything as a default route across VMnet 2, and then once it's got across to VMnet 2, I can then have routes then out to the internet. So you can literally use GNS3 to route through to EVE-NG. You can route it into, you know, let's say for instance it needed to access ESA, or you had a management system that needed to access the FMC down here. You could route it all how you wanted to. So that's literally how I'm using it. So it's as simple as just sorting out your VMnet interfaces, really. So what we're going to do is we're going to try, as I say, I've just upgraded GNS3, so I've still got some stuff that are not working at the minute which I need to sort out. But what we'll try to do is we'll try and throw in device. Might have to be the ASA, in fact. I use this ASA. What I'll do, I'll connect this to this switch like that. And this is, I'm just going to do this quickly just to kind of show you guys how it can be done. Let me just, yeah, it's still booting in VNC as well, which is a bit of a pain till I sort it out. Anyway, so once that's fired on, let's just go back across to EVE-NG, and this is in the current configuration of these two ASAs, by the way, active standby, failover. So I'm just going to fire on the first one. I'm not going to fire on the second one, don't really need it right now. And I'll open a QCIT session, and Just let this load up. Okay. For some reason. And I'll do. So yeah, what we need to do now is okay, so it's not letting me. Let me just see if I can share this with you guys and then continue. So Jamal, I'm currently using the community edition of EVE-NG. Or at least I think I am anyway. I've not checked to be honest with you. Yeah, I got this from internal resources where I work, so I need to check actually. So is this ASA fired on now? Let me delete that. Okay. I don't think it's gonna let me share it for some reason. No problem, Jamal, just you just this and I'll be able to share it with you guys again. And like I said, I do plan on doing a video on this. It'll be a more formal video for you guys. You can actually fully understand how this works. I just thought I'd show you quickly while I was actually doing the labs. Well, that's just stopped.